MTG and me, this is Charles, and today we've got the Magic the Gathering Arena of the Planeswalker board game. So this board game's not new, in fact it's been discontinued. What's interesting is that a couple months ago these things started showing up at some of the discount stores, so in the United States at the 5 and below for $5, and then reportedly in Canada at the Dollarama Dollar Store, which sells products between $1 and $4. So I'd looked around a bunch in November and December, and I hadn't been able to find one. And today, Unboxing Day, the day after Christmas, my wife and I went out just to grab a couple quick things for the house, given the long weekend and the holiday. And stopping into the dollar store, I saw a bunch of these on the end cap. So I figured it was finally time to pick one up and open her up. All right, let's go. So the game's been compared to HeroClix, which is an out-of-print tactical hex-based sort of board game. I got a copy of that somewhere, so if anyone's ever interested, it's not new. I won't be unboxing a new game, but we can definitely take a look at that. It's not really Magic either, but this one is, at least sort of built around that. So you basically get what is shown here. 5 Planeswalker figures, which are on the front. 30 squad member figures, which aren't painted, detailed, they're just plastic. Terrain boards, some hex sand tiles, some other hexes, some ruins, some glyphs, damage markers, a 20-sided die, 10 combat dice, these guys shown here, some army cards, 60 spell cards, a turn marker, and a game guide. So I mean, first impressions is that it's got some good shelf appeal. I mean, you get a bunch of nice little plastic miniatures. At first glance, the Planeswalker miniatures look pretty neat. You know, they're painted and everything. However, you know, if you look a little bit closer... Alright, so if you look a little bit closer at these guys, you can kind of see the paint jobs maybe what might be considered a little haphazard. So I wouldn't consider these finely painted miniatures. However, you know, they're nice enough. And at a distance, you'd be playing the board game at kind of this level, and they actually look pretty good at that level. We got that Chandra in here. Chandra's one of the nicer ones. The flames are sort of translucent on her. Got a Liliana. A little bit of weird, gnarly, translucent death magic coming out of her arm there. We got a Jace, some blue flames. And then finally, just the Gideon. Ah, look at these, got a see-through whip. Actually, for some reason, Gideon's legs are see-through, but hey. Hey, look, Overrun. Bountiful Harvest. So I guess it takes inspiration from some of the cards in Magic, which is kind of neat. Yep. Like, yep, all Magic spell names. That's kind of neat. But at the $4 mark, or $5 mark, I think it's probably worth a pickup, even if you're only going to play it a little bit casually. Or heck, if you just need some cheap miniatures for a quick game of like Dungeons & Dragons or something else. Yeah, these are all inspired, looks like, by actual magic spells, which is kind of neat. A little throwback talent to the Telepath. I love that spell. We got Fred climbing all over the table. He's probably going to pop in camera in a second. Yep, there he is. So yeah, they're all sort of inspired by, but have different effects from actual Magic cards. Got our tiles. What the heck is that? Oh, it's a rhinoceros. Once again, let's turn this focus back on, see if we can see it. I couldn't even tell at first, but it's a rhinoceros. You can see his face and his horns there, but he's hiding behind his shield this way, so he's holding his shield open. Kind of weird. Then, you know, we got like elementals. We got elven archers in here. You know, these look like illusionary Jaces. It's kind of neat. So yeah, a bunch of different miniatures. Alright, let's take this miniatures tray out, see what we got below here. Just for this tray full of miniatures, it's probably worth the $4, even if they're not the greatest. The quality, the detail quality on them, not bad at all. Okay, so once we get in here, again, we've got some of these, the raised up desert terrain, and these basically look... I wouldn't be surprised if these are functionally identical to the HeroClix tiles. They certainly look like it. And then we got this here. These must be the reference cards. Oh, one of my cards is nicked. I didn't do that. Alright, so then yeah. Elfish Rangers. So this must be reference cards, yeah. Pummelroot Elementals for each of the miniatures. Pyromancer, Phoenixes, Blazing Fire Cats. There's the Rhinoceros, Rocks Veterans. Once again, neat. Kind of reminiscent of Magic a little bit. Can you imagine if Magic was played with these kind of size of cards? Crazy. We'll put those off on the side here. We've got our battle dice. I mean, nothing special. Shields, swords, blanks. And then we have these, whatever they are, energy counters of some sort. They look a lot like the cubes from the other Richard Garfield game, Kings of Tokyo or Kings of New York. And it says a 20-sided die, but it's actually a spin down. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we've got the board. So I guess this is part of our three-dimensional terrain for the game. And they look like it's literally two pieces of punch-out terrain. It comes three-dimensional. Let's pop this out and take a look. Now we just slide those together. Essentially a three-dimensional piece of terrain. This one little counter must be super important because there's only one of them on the cardboard and it's very tiny. And yeah, we have these nice branded hex terrains that interlock. There we go. Just like that. Oh yeah, that's neat. They each have their... I didn't notice that. They're all backed with some sort of graphics. So Arena of the Planeswalkers. Then, once again, reminiscent of the Magic art. Nissa. Then we got one for Liliana Vess. Andra. A Jace Beleren. And then the last one here, a Gideon Jura. And then finally the rules book. 20 pages. Not really that unreasonable for this style of game. You get an overview of the contents, some assembly instructions if you couldn't figure this out. The two things slide together. Setup for the game. So again, the breakdown of the cards. So, you know, our army cards, how they are explained, how the spell cards work. Then how to play the two-player game. This is where playing with the HeroClix pieces, provided they are parts compatible, which I believe they are, would be useful, because it's definitely going to give you a little bit more varied terrain than the, say, 6 pieces of plastic they include in the box would. Here we go, some multiplayer game variations. Nice manual overall. So I've seen too that there are some expansions for this, so it's kind of a shame that it died, but hey, you know, it is what it is. If the game hadn't essentially been cancelled, you wouldn't be picking it up for $4 at the dollar store now, would you? So, yeah, Julie and I are looking forward to trying this game out. Maybe we'll do a Let's Play with this, even though it's not technically like Magic. At least it's lore-wise pretty interesting. Yeah, that's the Arena of the Planeswalkers. Alright, the Miniature Gatewatch says, thanks for watching. So a quick update. I pulled out my copy of Marvel Heroescape, and I can confirm that the tiles are in fact parts compatible. Definitely gives you a bunch more options, and if we open this up real quick, here's the tiles from Arena of the Planeswalkers. Here's a tile from the Marvel HeroClix game, and yeah, they just kind of slide together. Right, so do the same thing, or stack up the terrain as you want. So I guess if you happen to be someone who owns the HeroClix game, bonus for you, you can make Arena of the Planeswalkers much more interesting by making the terrain more varied and three-dimensional. Alright everybody, thanks for watching.